Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. We'll talk about altcoins. And as always, I will look at the chat window and try to respond to your questions to the best of my ability and see if we can't troubleshoot some of your stuff here live. So let's get started. All right, welcome everybody. I was just playing around with my settings as usual. Being an old guy, I seem to have trouble with my settings. Welcome to the my lair and the rig and everything else. Gaming monitor and the Bitcoin logo in the back. I'm glad that you are all here with me tonight. Things have been pretty good. We're kind of where we were last week as far as the price of Bitcoin. Last week, my title was Bitcoin breaks $23,000. And this week, the title is Bitcoin holds steady above $23,000. So we're kind of there. But let's jump in. I want to greet everyone that's here tonight. Let's see. Scott Lee is here. He was here early. Simon is here. Thank you for checking in with us tonight, Simon from Scotland. Mr. Miskey, Kenneth, always early. Nice to have Kenneth here. Amsterdam, Holland, Dave Flowers, Frank Rodriguez, E. Poston from Colorado. Nice to have you here. Let's see. Kojo is here again. That's cool. Joanne L., another regular viewer. Nice to have you here. Senex2929 Senex from Maine. That's pretty cool. And TB watching. Scott is here. Great. Let's see. Let's close this stuff. Let's go ahead and pop out the chat so I can move it over here. And let's see. Where else? What else am I doing? I guess that's it. Let's move over here. And I'll remind you guys that I've got some cool stuff down in the description below. I'm going to talk a little bit about crypto taxes tonight because it's tax season. And I've got some affiliate links for you guys. I've got some other tax affiliate links that I didn't get in because I was busy troubleshooting. But be that as it may, we've got a lot of cool stuff that you can check out. And if you're interested, I encourage you to use my affiliate links. Helps me, helps the channel. We've got an agenda of stuff I want to cover tonight. Of course, if you guys throw me some questions, we might go off in other directions. I've got the news stories linked that I want to talk about tonight. I'll try not to spend too much time on the news. So, like I said, welcome. I was doing some troubleshooting earlier, and I really have a lot of problems with my Razor webcam. What you're looking at now is my Elgato face cam. But when I turn over here to look at my secondary monitor where I can see the chat window, I can switch over to this other webcam, which I haven't even set up the green screen for it yet, because it always gives me problems. It's just always being hard on me. Let's see. Let's chroma key this guy out. There we go. And then I got to move the green screen a bit. There we go. Now it looks like a professional production. But I use this camera quite often, and it is just really finicky. One of the things that the problem that I have with this particular camera is when you plug it in, it wants to download the Razor software, which I'm not a fan of. And so you can bomb out of that and not install the Razor software. But I don't know why OBS Studio just does not like this camera. I'll flip over to a scene and it's suddenly like not working anymore. And so I have to plug it in, unplug it, do all kinds of crazy stuff to get it to show up, coax it,
So I was kind of preoccupied with that over the last 15 or 20 minutes trying to figure out if I was going to get it back up. I could probably work with this one camera. Anyway, enough about me. Let's jump over into the news. Let's go back
to this one. I don't know, this one's better. Bitcoin holds steady at 23K as traders eye Fed's next meeting. Oh boy, here we go. The Fed meeting is going to be the topic of discussion over the next week or so. I believe the Fed is expected to raise rates 25 basis points. That's the expectation. So if they raise it 50 basis points, the market will be disappointed. If they do what's expected, I guess the market will continue along as usual. And if they decide not to raise rates at all, or announce that they're not going to raise rates, then all hell will break loose and the market will go, I don't know, crazy, right? Everything that this market tends to hinge on Fed policy, which is really not a healthy market. And it's kind of sad that Bitcoin gets pulled along in that swirl of excitement. And, because Bitcoin should sort of be separate from the broader market, but because a lot of people, the price of Bitcoin depends on investors, and investors are, swept along with the rest of the broader market conditions. Bitcoin is affected by the major market news. So I guess it's good and bad, right? Because it would be nice if Bitcoin was just independent of all that. And it has been showing some decoupling from the broader markets, because there were some days this week where the stock market was down and Bitcoin was holding steady. So that's an encouraging sign as far as I'm concerned, right? Bitcoin held above $23,000 on Friday as traders awaited next week's Federal Open Market Committee decision on interest rates. Largest cryptocurrency recently changed hands around 23,100. Let's take a look at where we stand with our friends over at crypto.com. Dipped just under 23. It was just about 5 minutes ago. It was 23,000 and I don't know, like $10, just above it on crypto.com. But crypto.com is a great platform for trading cryptocurrencies directly on your phone. You can buy and sell. You can deposit and withdraw cryptos just like any other exchange. You can stake on their platform. And you also have the Metal Visa card, which allows you to spend your crypto in the real world, so that if you decide to liquidate a position, you can just top up your card and within minutes have the funds available on your card to spend in the real world. Pretty cool system, and I've been partners with them for quite a while. And I like it because at a glance, I can see what I consider up-to-the-minute price quotes for my favorite cryptocurrencies. As you can see, I've added quite a few here. I've got Bitcoin and Ethereum, the big two, XRP, Cardano, Avalanche, and Cosmos on my list. Avalanche has been doing quite well this week, along with several other altcoins. Cardano was up around 40 earlier. Cosmos has been up. The altcoins are a bit off their highs, and so is Bitcoin, according to crypto.com. So that's where we stand with our current market prices of some of our favorite cryptocurrencies. We're going to talk about some of these cryptos tonight, so hang on to your hats. I like to focus on managing crypto as opposed to price action and price discovery and predictions and that sort of thing, but I do like to at least cover the market and let you guys know what's going on with the market, to give you that macro view of the entire crypto space. Okay, Bitcoin should still consolidate leading up to the Federal Open Market Committee decision, with risks of the downside if the Fed sticks with its hawkish mantra. So the hawkish mantra would be, hey, we're going to continue to raise rates. We're not considering lowering rates. We're still fighting inflation, and that's the way it's going to be, right? So let's see. I don't know where they have expectations. Okay, here we are. The CME FedWatch tool currently shows that traders see a roughly a 99% chance the Federal Open Market, whatever they call it, Open Market Committee, will raise rates by 25 basis points or 0.25 percentage points at its February meeting. So that's what we're looking at, right? And they could just raise rates 0.25 as expected and then blabber about something hawkishly, which might spook the market down, right? Generally, I don't know what's in their brains, but I mean, they generally try to give enough double talk and financial babble to sort of keep people guessing as to what they're going to do next. And you know, they'll say something which any normal person would consider just blah blah, but then the markets read into their intonation and their tone and that kind of stuff. So it's all kind of a game, right? But anyway, that's kind of where this is our chart of Bitcoin, looking good, right? Let's see. Dan is here. Good. Dan is here. Dan knows a lot about charts. And we'll probably be talking to quite a few people tonight that are asking questions. Sound has changed. Is that good or bad? There's an echo? Oh, God, please. No, not an echo. Is there an echo? Really? Seriously? There's an echo? Oh, no, I'm not talking about echo. Let's see. Echo. No.
Thanks for telling me.
Okay, let me look here. I don't see. Let's look over here.
I see it. There it is.
Yep. Yeah. It's that webcam being bad again. Webcam was picking up the mic on the webcam was picking up sound. It's not supposed to. Hopefully we're done with that, right? Are we done with the echo now? Oh, okay, cool. I think the echo was only when I'm in this mode, right? Because in this mode, the secondary video camera is working. And I can see it down here just picking up away, but I've got it muted now. So, haha. Shouldn't happen so much over here in main demo. All right. Man, I swear that that webcam will be is the bane of my existence. All right. Shame on you, webcam. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've done this since 2017. I never had that problem with my webcam suddenly being added in as a mic. I mean, they all the webcams have mics. This webcam, that webcam, the Canon has its own mic, but OBS Studio normally mutes those devices when I'm just using them as video input. So I don't know. Anyway, thank God it's over. See there, I'm looking at the chat window tonight. There was some big news, I guess, yesterday released by the White House. Just the White House, not Biden. Biden didn't have anything to do. He was sleeping or whatever he was doing. Officials in the Biden administration urged Congress on Friday to expand the authority of regulators to police and crypto industry. Now, I'll go through this article. What's interesting about the article is that a lot of the language that they're using now is more about preventing fraud and protecting consumers because that's what the political wins are right now. There's a lot of angry consumers that lost a lot of money with the FTX collapse and the Luna collapse, and they feel like they were defrauded and they want the government to do something about it. Whereas before, what you were hearing, a lot of the language that you heard from the government was, cryptocurrencies facilitate money laundering and terrorist financing and that sort of thing. trying to make it really woo and spooky. But now, as you can see from this article, a lot of their language is focused on regulations that prevent fraud. Although they're still bagging on cryptos as being bad for humanity subtly, but now they're sort of they've sort of been forced into this, this role of, hey, we're going to do something about all these people that lost money because it makes them look bad, right? So let's see. Four senior U.S. officials in the Biden administration published a statement on Friday urging Congress to step up its efforts with respect to regulating the cryptocurrency markets. We had Brian Deese, Director of National Economic Council, Aratai Prabhakar, I hope I didn't mangle his name too badly, Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, Cecilia Rose, Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. They wrote that Congress should expand regulators' powers to prevent misuses of customer assets and to mitigate conflicts of interest. Other suggestions for Congress in the statement included strengthening transparency and disclosure requirements for crypto companies, strengthening penalties for violations of illicit finance rules. Here we go again. Illicit finance, bad money laundering, terrorist financing, Russia-loving, America-hating fraudsters, right? And working more closely with international law enforcement partners. The officials also made suggestions about what Congress should do in terms of crafting new crypto regulations, including greenlighting mainstream institutions like pension funds to dive headlong into cryptocurrency markets. They're not advocating this, right? They're saying it's bad, right? This would be a grave mistake that deepens the ties between cryptocurrencies and the broader financial system. So here we are, the White House warning Congress and saying, hey, look, we need to prevent cryptos from becoming more mainstream because it puts our system at risk, right? They've been saying this sort of thing for a while now, too. A couple years back, they were decrying crypto because they were claiming that it weakens the reserve status of the United States dollar, right? So, and that was a threat to our national security, which it does, right? That's the whole point of crypto, is that it's sort of trying to point out that the U.S. dollar, the banking system, is this huge Ponzi scheme controlled by the rich and powerful, and we have an alternative over here: blockchain technology, decentralized cryptocurrencies. So, guilty as charged, right? So the government still doesn't like crypto, but they're softening their stance a little bit because it is becoming more mainstream. And now they're warning, they're saying, look, it's becoming too mainstream. We don't like that. That should be a bad thing, right? Through the spectacular collapses of the ill-fated Luna stablecoin and the now defunct crypto exchange FTX, they were not directly named in the statement. The effects of both loom large over the officials' guidance, which called 2022 a tough year for cryptocurrencies, plagued by the implosion of a so-called stablecoin, prompting a wave of insolvencies and the subsequent downfall of a major cryptocurrency exchange. So yeah, this is Luna and this is FTX, right? Some cryptocurrency entities ignore applicable financial regulations and basic risk controls. In addition, cryptocurrency platforms often mislead consumers, have conflicts of interest, fail to make adequate disclosures, or commit outright fraud. That's pretty much what people are thinking about FTX, right? Okay, so this reflects some earlier warnings, and let's see. Safeguards will ensure that new technologies are secure and beneficial to all, and that the new digital economy works for the many, not just the few. Right? Which is kind of a disingenuous statement because what the White House and the powers that be would like to see are digital central bank digital currencies where they control the blockchain and they issue the currency and they can control the currency. They have more surveillance power and financial power over people that use digital currencies. That's what they want to see, right? And that's not beneficial to all, right? So what they want to see is total control, good for the powers that be, bad for the common people, right? But what the common people need are decentralized cryptocurrencies that are not tied to governments, not controlled by governments, that sort of thing, right? So kind of a backwards world statement there. Interesting. There's a dispute going on between WazirX, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in India. Supposedly Binance bought them. And then the WazirX, was accused of financial crimes, money laundering. Let's see, I don't know where it's at here. The exchange had helped 16 fintech companies launder money. That was the accusation. And when this accusation surfaced, Bitcoin stepped back and said, wait a minute, we don't own them. We just sort of own them. We just made an agreement with them and purchased some intellectual rights and that sort of stuff, but we don't own them, right? So they kind of went back and forth and basically in public, but Binance basically controls a lot of the wallets. They came back and said, oh, Binance is threatening them and saying, look, if you don't issue this statement saying that we really don't own you, we'll disown you. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Binance sent WazirX a letter requiring the Indian exchange to meet two demands. They must publish a pre-written clarificatory statement retracting the co-founders' previous statements that Binance owned WazirX. It also required WazirX to erase all mentions of Binance in its terms of service. They came back and said, wait a minute, that letter is demanding, the demand letter was unethical and attempted to use media pressure and threats to force Zamani into issuing false and misleading statements as clarifications. They don't want to retract the statement that Binance owns them, and they point out that Binance has unilaterally withdrawn significant amounts of monies, plural, over $67 million, which had been earned as trading fees on their platform. Binance transferred these amounts to an internal account solely controlled by it, since Binance owns the wallets. Right? To prove his point, he attached some redacted emails to prove what he was talking about. But if Binance withdraws its support from this cryptocurrency exchange, that could be bad for the exchange and for its users. And so Binance may not go that far, right? They're gonna demand that they revise their statement, but they probably won't go as far as to actually withdraw their support, because Binance controls 90% of the wallets on the exchange. Interesting little story there. I don't know if you remember, those of you who've been around the crypto space for a long time, but the price of Bitcoin and the broader markets rose and fell over news from India. India's going to make cryptos illegal. India's not going to make cryptos illegal. Bitcoin has been outlawed in India. Bitcoin has not been outlawed in India. It just went on and on and on. It was crazy. So obviously all through this, there were probably people in India buying and selling cryptocurrencies the whole time. But and now it's just sort of accepted that you don't hear that much now about countries outlawing Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies anymore, right? Now we're talking about a mainstream Indian exchange having dispute with Binance, but no talk about India outlawing cryptos. So I don't know. I guess that's good. And I want to cover this story real quick. I want to go over this. Okay, Carlos Barron. Hey, Rex, did you hear that the CPI will be measured in a 1-year average now instead of a 2-year average? That they will also weigh the different basket items so they can cook the books. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common to people that are familiar with how all this works, probably a lot of people in markets and stuff like that, that the CPI figures are not accurate, right? That they're the numbers are massaged, not only the CPI numbers but the unemployment numbers, and that they have changed the way they calculate CPI. If you know, even they'll blatantly admit that the CPI does not include food and fuel because it's too volatile. But isn't food and fuel really the things that affect the average person the most, right? So if the price of food is skyrocketing and the price of fuel is skyrocketing and the government says inflation is at 5% because we don't include food and fuel in our calculations, that's a bit disingenuous, right? Inflation was measured differently back in the 70s. And if it was measured that way still, our current inflation would probably be more along the lines of 10 to 15%. But that's bad for politicians, so they've changed the way they measure it. And according to Carlos, I did not hear about this story, but they're thinking of changing the way they measure CPI or report CPI even more. It's really not a huge surprise that they want to make CPI, measure it in a different way. It's basically gaslighting us, right? Telling us that there is no inflation. That's funny. My daughter said something yesterday that made me laugh. She goes, she heard people online, I don't know, Discord or whatever, say there's no such thing as gaslighting. You're crazy. You're just crazy. There's no such thing as gaslighting. You're just crazy, which is exactly what gaslighting is. Anyway, yeah, they can massage the numbers any way they want. But I wanted to cover this little article here because now that if the market continues to rise, we're going to see more interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and there will be a renewed interest in Bitcoin mining. I myself mined Bitcoin for about a year and a half in 2013 to 2014, thereabouts, with a little mining rig I bought on eBay for $350. And at the end of that year and a half, I had managed to mine enough Bitcoin. I believe at the time it was around 2 Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's price was only around $400 at the time. So it was about $800 worth of Bitcoin, which I was pretty happy about. Unfortunately, there were a lot of expenses surrounding that little miner that probably didn't get calculated in. So I don't know if there was there was probably a net loss because my electricity bill went up. So that the additional electricity bill, if calculated into that, probably made, so if we take the 800 minus 350, what I used to buy the equipment, and then, the additional power bill was probably over that year and a half was probably close to the difference, right? So, but anyway, I've linked this story down below for those of you who are interested. It's a pretty good rundown of what Bitcoin mining is and what it isn't, and what you need to do if you want to mine Bitcoin. So if you want to mine Bitcoin at home, you need a Bitcoin wallet, of course. You need a mining rig, and you need to install the mining software and join a mining pool. That's kind of it in a nutshell. So he goes through everything that needs to be set up in order to mine Bitcoin. Miners use powerful computers to solve. The process of mining Bitcoin involves a complex mathematical puzzle known as a hash using specialized software and hardware. The miner solves the puzzle. The miner that solves the puzzle first is rewarded with new BTC, as well as the transaction fees associated with the transactions included in the block. Mining Bitcoin requires a significant amount of computational power and energy, as the difficulty of the puzzles has soared over time. As the number of miners on the network increases, the difficulty of solving the puzzle also rises, making it more challenging and less profitable for individual miners to participate in the network. As the mining difficulty climbs, more advanced equipment, such as application-specific integrated circuits, or ASICs, and energy-efficient equipment, such as specialized graphic processing units, or GPUs, are being used by miners. Overall, Bitcoin mining is a competitive process and only profitable when the price of BTC is high enough to cover the cost of equipment and electricity to leave a profit, right? So I get a lot of people asking me about Bitcoin mining. How can I mine Bitcoin? Blah, 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 blah. They think that it's free money. They think that it's like a money tree. They go out and, or that a lot of people think that they can just mine Bitcoin on the computer. That is long gone. Maybe back in 2008, 9, and 10, you could mine Bitcoin on just a regular computer, or maybe a laptop or a desktop. That's long gone, right? That's not powerful enough. You'll never mine enough Bitcoin to break even. It'll take you years to get a fraction of a Bitcoin, even if you get any at all on your computer. So after Bitcoin became too complicated for computers, they moved to GPU rigs, which is like a computer rig with maybe a very powerful GPU or multiple GPUs. And that was the go-to standard for several years. And then at that point, after a certain point, even that wasn't powerful enough to efficiently mine Bitcoin at a profit. So we moved to ASICs, which are those integrated circuit machines. And it's just it's a box that you go out and buy. All right, so if you want a Bitcoin miner, right? Look, these are Bitcoin mining rigs, right? And this 2,600. This one's around 2,000. This better one is like 6,500. We've got one over here for 36, right? Various types of Bitcoin mining rigs that you can buy, that you can connect in your home and start to mine Bitcoin. But look at the upfront cost, right? It's if you want this really high-end mining rig, you're going to have to put up $6,486 up front, right? So that's the initial investment. And you cannot mine Bitcoin on a single mining rig by yourself, right? You'll never find a block. It's the chances of you finding a block are infinitesimal. So it's like a long shot gamble. So what you have to do is join a mining pool. So you join an online mining pool, and they use their collective power to mine for Bitcoin. And when the mining pool finds a block, they split up all of the rewards among all the miners. That's the only way to efficiently mine Bitcoin. So you set up your rig, you set up your wallet, you download and install the Bitcoin software, you join a pool, and you start mining. And then you can sort of get your rewards as time goes by. I watch my rewards come in on a daily basis in little tiny increments and watch them accumulate over time in my wallet, right? But So I guess the point I'm trying to make is this is not something that you can just flip a switch and like have money come raining down on you in the form of Bitcoin. It's not as simple. Now, there are a lot of scammers out there that would have you believe that it is simple, and they'll try and scam you any way they can. Telling you can mine Bitcoin on your computer, and then you'll download their malware. Another big scam is Bitcoin cloud mining. They mention that here. So we've got the computer or graphic card, long shot, almost impossible. Using an ASIC, better, but pretty much practically impossible to find a block as a single miner, right? Number 3, joining a mining pool. This is really the only way you're going to make any money, and it will take you quite some time to regain your capital investment, if ever, right? Depending on your situation. And then there's this cloud mining where there's a company that mines Bitcoin somewhere in the cloud, and they'll maintain all the equipment, and you just like pay them a monthly leasing fee or something like that. It's possible, but generally this is the biggest scam you're going to run into with Bitcoin mining. Is they'll tell you, hey, we're a cloud mining service, and if you sign up now and pay us like $100 a month or whatever, you're going to double your money. Most of these are scams. Most of them are going to ask you for a huge amount up front, and then you'll never hear from them again. Now, that kind of stuff. So please, guys, I think I myself, after my 2 years or a year and a half of mining, came to the conclusion that it was much easier to just buy Bitcoin outright rather than mining, because it was so inconvenient. I had that stupid miner running in my living room. It sounded like a vacuum cleaner. My power bill went up. I had to constantly monitor it and make sure it was running. I couldn't shut down couldn't let it shut down. They were all just like, it was just a headache. And it's much easier to just buy Bitcoin and put it in your wallet over time, right? Dollar cost averaging, than to, put in a bunch of money to buy a miner and then get it hooked up and do all this stuff. Most people are just not tech savvy enough to set up and run a miner and join a mining pool. It's that's complicated. And there aren't very many tutorials out there that make it easy, right? So please, guys, just keep in mind, Bitcoin mining is a thing, but it's not really the best way to earn money. It's not like this money tree that's going to just like give you free money, right? So beware. If anybody sends you an email of any kind telling you about some crypto mining, that they're a crypto mining company and they want you to invest or anything like that, be on the lookout for that kind of stuff. Leave mining to the big boys and girls. I like that. That's pretty good. I guess you could somehow, it does generate a lot of heat too. So if you're sitting next to it, it's hot. Right. So if you're going to be a Bitcoin miner, like have a bunch of them, you'd be better to have like a separate room. Like if you've got like a bunch of miners, but then we're talking, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 of upfront capital investment. Right. And even with, your own little space of maybe, 10 to 50 rigs, still very unlikely that you will find a block on your own. You'll still need to join a mining pool. Yeah. Anyway, Bitcoin mining. I just kind of wanted to cover that because if Bitcoin becomes more, if the market continues to go up, there will be more interest in Bitcoin, and there'll be more scammers out there trying to get your money. Just keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. All right, so let's see here. So what's going on, guys? Anybody have any questions? Does anyone have any Bitcoin they can send to I Can Trade? That's a no-no. Don't ask for Bitcoin in this live stream, please. You're gone. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We've got through the news. Let's look at what I wanted to do tonight. There was some cool stuff about managing multiple Ledger devices in Ledger Live. I've been going back and forth with a nice woman named Debbie, who may or may not be in the live stream tonight. I'm pretty sure it's Debbie. Let me just double check that. Let me put this over. I don't want to reveal her email address, so I'm just going to do a quick, if I can find it. Where is my Gmail? Oh, okay. Pretty sure her name is Debbie, right? Yes, Debbie. Very nice, and she comes into the live stream quite often. Cooper is sorry that he has a question. Don't be sorry you have a question, right? So anyway, Debbie has been going through the ringer over her Ledger Nano X device. Not just one, right? I don't know, she told me she had a Ledger Nano S, and after using it for a while, realized that it did not hold enough cryptocurrencies, and so she bought a Ledger Nano X because it has more room for crypto apps. So now she has two devices, and apparently she set up crypto on both devices, and they're separate, right? They don't use the same passphrase, right? She set them both up as new. So passphrase, I mean backup phrase, right? I need to try to be more precise when I talk about this. So she had two different devices, and she was going through the ringer with telling me things like it's not connected, or Ledger Live doesn't recognize it. I get that one a lot. Ledger Live doesn't recognize my device. So I kind of went back and forth with her. So we've talked a lot about troubleshooting our devices. So I just wanted to touch on that. Most of you, if you're using a hardware device to store your crypto, are using some form of Ledger device. So I wanted to, first we'll talk a little bit about connection issues in general. So let's go ahead and launch Ledger Live, just so we can, get our bearings here. Now, when you launch Ledger Live, the default is to not have to use a password. Back in the early days, a few years back, it forced you to create a password, so that when you launched Ledger Live, you had to enter a password in order to see the Ledger Live interface, right? It was kind of a one more level of security. But in reality, even if someone were to sit down at your computer, which is very unlikely, right? Because I keep my doors and my windows locked. I'm not really worried about a stranger sitting down in front of my computer and looking at my Ledger Live. So having a password on it isn't that important to me. Now, it might be to some other people that have roommates, so they don't want their children or their spouse or, the crazy uncle that lives there with them to be able to go into their Ledger Live. But a lot of that is already covered by physical computer security, right? If you are using your computer and you don't want other people to use your computer, then you turn it off when you're not using it, and you have a Windows password that prevents other people from using your computer. So that sort of security is already covered. So whether or not you really think you need a password on Ledger Live, you can turn it on and off. So Ledger, I believe, decided, well, we really don't need to force people to use Ledger Live passwords anymore. But there are a lot of people that ask me, well, how do I turn on a password? It goes straight into Ledger Live. So you just go up to the settings up here in the top right and go to General, and you just toggle password lock on and off, right? If we toggle it on, it asks me to enter a password twice, and the next time I launch Ledger Live, it wants the password, right? And then in addition to even if someone could sit down and access the computer and access Ledger Live, they cannot move crypto unless they have the device. So yes, I don't really want my roommate to see how much Bitcoin I have, but I'm not worried about him stealing the Bitcoin because he needs the device. And when I'm not using the device, it's in a drawer, right? And he doesn't know the PIN. So that's really where we're at with security. So if we, the first thing we'll do is, okay, my device is connected to my computer with a USB cable, and I have entered my PIN, right? So that's first and foremost. So a lot of times people they don't understand that they need to have the device connected to make this stuff work. Right, so let's go into, the first thing we'll do is just we'll go into an account and we'll attempt to do a receive, and it wants to verify that the hardware is there. So it's going to let's here. Right, it's going to ask me to open up the Ethereum app in order to verify the hardware, right? This is a basic hardware verification step. Notice what happens, right? I see on my device, it says verify address. I'll hit the metal button and go over here, and it says, it shows me the address on my device. It shows the address on the screen. I can match those two, and then I know, boom, that the address is the account, right? Because we're talking about accounts, right? Ledger Live calls them accounts. You might want to also call them wallets, right? They are, in a sense, they are wallets, right? But when you're using a Ledger hardware wallet, then the combination of the device and the software basically is the wallet. But you can also think as each individual account as a wallet. All right. So in order for the wallet to function, it needs to connect to the device, and the device has to authorize transactions. So if you're trying to use your Ethereum account and you click receive, and you get something along the lines of, let's see if I can find one that's not, okay, here, this one. This account was created with my Ledger Nano S Plus, all right? So if I go to this account and I do a receive, watch the error message that I'm going to get. All right, this error message is telling me basically that I have the wrong device attached, right? But it's a mouthful. Please check that your hardware wallet is set up with the recovery phrase or passphrase associated with the selected account, right? It could be a little more clear, right? It could say, hey, you seem to have the wrong device attached, or the device you have attached is not set up with the recovery phrase or passphrase, right? But this error message is the bane of most newcomers' existence, right? You'll get this a lot if you have the wrong device attached, or if you've accidentally reset your device and set it up with a different passphrase, right? If the device gets wiped, reset to factory, and then you set it up again with a different pass or backup phrase, then when you go to connect to your original account, it's going to give you this error message. So this happens a lot. Now there's also another message that's just like, hey, the device isn't attached at all, right? So we can do that by just disconnecting the device. So when we do a receive, you're going to get the message that says, hey, the device isn't attached. Now, some people get this message even when their device is attached, right? And that is also very frustrating. Okay, there. Connect and unlock your device. I think this is what Debbie was getting a lot. My device is connected, but I'm still getting this message telling me that I need to connect the device. And her description of this is Ledger Live does not recognize my device, right? So why would we? It's obvious why I'm getting it, right? The device isn't connected, right? So if I connect the device and enter my PIN, this should go away, right? I hope I'm doing this. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and then I enter my PIN incorrectly. Okay, it worked. All right, so now that I've connected the device and entered my PIN, I can retry now. And it should work. Oh, okay, now we're back to the, hey, it's the wrong device message, right? So if I really wanted to check this account, I would need to get out my Ledger Nano S Plus and connect that device, and then it would work, right? But I can go back over to one of the other accounts that I know was created with this Ledger Nano X, and it should work. All right, see, we get the nice little connection dance, right? And we go through this. So what could cause that please connect your device message if I only have one device with one backup phrase and it is connected and I've entered my PIN and I'm still getting the, hey, please connect your device message? What could cause that? Well, now there's nothing mysterious about crypto that is causing that error message. This boils down to hardware issues, right? It's possible that there's something wrong with your device, but very, very unlikely, right? More likely is that there is a connection issue between the device and your computer. So, a couple of things we could try. Well, we can disconnect and reconnect. First thing I always suggest, right? Could just be one of those, one of those things, right? It's not in a good mood today. It won't connect to your computer. Disconnect it and reconnect it. See if that works. 80% of the time, it fixes your issue, right? If that doesn't work, then try rebooting your computer and then trying again. That'll fix it in many cases, all right? So if disconnecting and reconnecting doesn't work, then try rebooting the computer. Those are two of the easiest strategies, which are non-invasive, right? They don't require you to go through all kinds of, headaches and jump through hoops and restore the device or do anything crazy, right? Disconnect, reconnect, reboot your computer. Fixes most of your problems right away. Okay, suppose that doesn't work. Then what? Well, we can always try a different USB port, right? My desktop has like 8 USB ports. So I could try, more than that because there's like 4 on the case, 2 in the front, right? So I've got like 10 or 12, right? So try a different USB port. Maybe that'll work, right? Now, I happen to have a lot of USB devices attached to my computer. I've got webcams, I've got mics, I got all kinds of stuff connected, right? Maybe you might try, if you're like that, you might want to disconnect some of your unnecessary devices and just try to connect the ledger to isolate the issue, right? I know you want to have all your devices connected and deal with the ledger, which I do too. But sometimes you have to do a little bit of troubleshooting to figure out, if it's the device or if it's the USB configuration, all right? If you can't troubleshoot that, then the next thing you can try is a different cable, right? A lot of people think, oh, the cable, It came with my device. It's specific to my device. I have to use that cable. Not necessarily. It's basically, it's a regular USB cable, USB-C. So if you have another USB-C cable laying around, try that. See if that works. A lot of problems get solved that way as well. Right? So once you get to the point of, okay, I know I have the right device, I know I have the right backup phrase, I know it's connected to my computer, and it's still not being recognized, then it's beyond the ledger problem. It becomes a connection issue with a gadget, right? And we've been doing that kind of stuff for years, right? Connect our phone, connect our USB hub, connect our printers, connect our webcams. You know, those are issues. Oh, another thing that Joseph mentioned, I believe it was Joseph, he said that he was trying to do the firmware update, and he had his wireless mouse connected to his laptop. And when he the firmware update was failing, so he removed the wireless dongle for his wireless mouse, and lo and behold, the firmware update worked. All right, so he had to use the trackpad for a few minutes. So I did kind of want to cover the troubleshooting issues. You need to stay calm, right? And I know sometimes you end up going in circles, and you've tried something, you get to the point where you've lost your sense of logic, right? You just get desperate, and it seems like nothing works, and then you're not open to suggestions at that point, right? Anytime someone says, hey, why don't you try this? Oh, I've already done that. I've already done that. I've already done that. And then they're not willing to like go through step-by-step troubleshooting, right? So you need to just stay calm when things go crazy. It's just a USB gadget, right? It's complicated. It does crypto, all that good stuff, but at its heart, it's just another USB gadget connected to your computer. All right. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with the ledger. Here, let's get this out of the way. Is there any way you can track your uphold buying and selling on CoinStats? CoinStats. I'm assuming you want to do this for tax purposes. We're going to talk about tax software here next, right? Why don't we segue into that? Do you know how to stake DCR via split ticket? No, I'm sorry, I don't know about staking DCR off the top of my head. Where's my mouse? Okay, there it is. Let's see here. All right, let's see. I'm not familiar with this coin, so let's check it out real quick because I try to get to all the questions. Ally Direct, or this digital reserve currency. We're talking about something that's ranked 2,651. I don't really want to spend a lot of time on such a low-end coin, right? I don't really know how to stake this coin. Looks like it's an ERC20 coin. Looks like they have their own vaults. Deposit and withdraw. Is your question about via split ticket? Yeah, I really don't know about this. I guess this is what you're talking about, but it would be on their website, right? So sorry, I can't really cover that. It's not really a mainstream question. I apologize for that. Yeah, let's talk about crypto tax and what that entails. So before I get too far into our discussion of crypto taxes, I would like to point out that if all you do is buy crypto, if you buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, and that's all you do, then you have not incurred any tax liability. Now, I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not a financial advisor, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, just like it says down in the description, right? But I'm just stating the obvious here. You get taxed on crypto when you trade crypto, when you buy and sell crypto. And when you trade crypto, that means you buy it, and then after a certain amount of time, you sell it, and that sale causes a taxable event, right? You either make a profit or you may take a loss, right? If you make a profit, then that's a capital gain. It needs to be declared in your taxes. There's a special form for capital gains. You need to pay taxes on those, right? Enough said about that, right? You make profit trading crypto, you're liable for your tax. You have to pay taxes on that. If you sell crypto at a loss during a tax year, then there are tax benefits that you should take advantage of, right? But if all you do is buy crypto, keep it on an exchange, or put it in your wallet, and you have not sold anything, then you don't have to worry about taxes, right? I think there's a question on the IRS 1040 that asks you if you've dealt with crypto. It may be, if you read it carefully, it may, I don't know what it is. I don't want to go into it, but it may not even, it may only be saying if you've traded, right? But it may also mean, did you buy? Okay, but if you bought, then you have to say, yes, I bought some crypto. But you're not liable for any taxes unless you've traded crypto and made a profit or a loss, right? Whatever. So first, keep that in mind, right? I get a lot of people, they're all scared. They buy Bitcoin and they're all worried, oh, the government's going to come and, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to get a fine. Or if I don't do my taxes, I'm scared. I'm like, yeah, but if you haven't sold it, then you're not liable for any taxes, right? And if you hold it for more than a year, then the capital gains laws are different, right? So if you hold an asset for more than a year, then the percentage is lower when you get taxed on the capital gains, right? But that's a tax thing, right? So just remember that. Another thing you need to also be aware of as far as crypto goes and your taxes is that when you buy crypto on an exchange and then you store it in your own wallet, that is not a taxable event. Transferring crypto from an exchange to your wallet is not a taxable event. Right? So you don't have to pay taxes if you buy crypto and then transfer it to your wallet, or even if you transfer it back, right? None of those are taxable events. Moving crypto is not a taxable event. Now, I know there are fees when you move crypto, and I don't think they're tax deductible, right? But just remember, moving crypto is, buying crypto and holding it is not taxable, and moving crypto to your wallet is not a taxable event. So a lot of people get stressed out about that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Just remember that, right? If all you do is buy and hold crypto, you don't have to worry about paying tax on your crypto, right? But talk to your tax guy for sure, right? And if you're buying crypto and transferring it into your own wallet and not trading, that's not taxable either. All right, so I just want to thank the two that have tipped me here. MT, would you consider a review of the Nodal 1 node? There's a lot of interesting hardware and use cases. Thanks. And Emmanuel, when am I getting my Stax? I'm hoping that I'll get it on schedule. As far as I know, the Stax will be shipping in March of this year, right? Next couple months. So I'm excited about it. As soon as I get it, I will, do a video on the setup and use of the Stax. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, so let's check out what we're asking here. MT is asking about the Nodal 1 node. Okay, I have purchased something similar to this before. I bought the Casa. Whoops. Let's see, where is this? Yeah, which is very similar. Did they have a hardware device too. Let me see if I can find it here. Bitcoin wallet. Oh, everything included in the Casa wallet. Yeah. I don't know why I can't find their damn Casa thing, because they have a box like this too, right? That you run the node, right? It's a Bitcoin Lightning node. I didn't have much luck with my Casa node. I set it up, I configured it to the best of my ability, and then I deposited some of my hard-earned Bitcoin into it. And there was something about and when I tried to make transactions, they were failing because I wasn't I don't. It was complicated and it didn't work very well for me. Something about you. It always seemed to me like a you had to have it to get it or something. Like it had to already be there for it to. You had to have enough in order to buy something. Your node had to have enough in it to match the other node. I don't know. It was just really complicated for me, and I wasn't really happy with its performance. I used it for a little while, and then I stopped using it. Right, and I had signed up for one of their subscriptions. Right, so and then it was really hard to get the subscription canceled. It was like trying to, if you've ever bought a car that had XM radio on it, and then you decided you didn't want to use XM radio anymore, real hassle. You contact their salespeople, and they're like really high pressure, and they don't want you to cancel. And it's like they ask you like a bunch of questions that you have to say no thank you, no thank you, and we can give you a better deal, no thank you, no thank you, until finally, after all you go through all that, they'll finally say okay, we'll cancel. It was not quite as bad with Casa, but a very similar experience, right? They were really high pressure, like trying to convince me not to cancel my subscription. So I wasn't real impressed with them. I don't know anything about Nodl, if they're going to be the same way or not. I don't even know if they have subscriptions. I've never used it before. But Bitcoin Lightning Network and running a Bitcoin Lightning mode is technically challenging, and there is an upfront investment that you have to make. And just as we talked about Bitcoin mining, it's not a money tree. Everyone thinks that, hey, I'm just going to go grab this box and I'm going to be rich in a year. By this time next year, I'll be sitting on the beach in the Bahamas drinking a pina colada. It's just like any job, right? You got to put in your work. You got to spend time with it, and you've got to use it, and just like it's not a get rich quick scheme. I'm not accusing you of saying that it's a get rich quick scheme. You're asking me to review it, which is perfectly understandable. But my experience with things like this are that they're more trouble than they're worth. That's just my opinion, right? I find it much easier to, to invest in cryptocurrency long term by simply purchasing it and storing it in my own wallet. That's me. But that's just my opinion, right? But stuff like this is a little, it's a lot more involved than what it looks like, right? It looks like, hey, I'll just buy this box, flip a switch, and I'm good to go. Not quite as easy as it seems to. Right? Cool though, very cool. If you're tech oriented, do it. All right, so we were talking about crypto tax. All right, so I wanted to stress and I'm going to go ahead and connect to this service if I can. What is it? Let's see. Coin Ledger. Let's try it out. Coin Ledger. Home. No, I don't want affiliates. I want home. Seriously? Okay, let's go ahead and log in. So, another thing about wallets is that if you are trading cryptocurrency on an exchange, right, back and forth, and sometimes you move your crypto into your own wallet, when you set up these services to track your crypto trades, to make it easier to do your taxes, you have to remember that even though you don't get taxed when you move crypto to your own wallet, when you withdraw crypto from the exchange and you don't tell this service that you're with where it's going, right? They think you sold it because that's all they have no other way of knowing, right? So crypto withdrawals are treated as sales. Crypto deposits from your wallet are counted as purchases. So it's very important that you connect, if you use crypto wallets, that you connect not just your exchanges, but your wallets. So it can track where the crypto is going, right? So it knows when you move it from the exchange to your wallet that it's not taxable. But if it doesn't know about your wallet, then it just figures you're withdrawing it and selling it. That's just the way it calculates things. So notice here that according to this service, I have 23,000 in capital gains, right? Because I move crypto to my own wallet quite often. So it thought I was selling it, but I was not. Now, some of it is accurate, but this is very inaccurate, right? I did not have $23,000 in capital gains in 2022, right? 2022 was a crap year, right? So, but let me explain why it's giving me that, right? Because I connected Coinbase, my go-to exchange. I connected Coinbase Pro, which went out of business in 2022. So there are still some trades. I think the last trade was 2021, right? So actually, my Coinbase Pro won't even come into my 2022 return. I stopped using it and migrated over. But I don't know that I did much. I did some on Kraken, right? So, and I've got my KuCoin attached. So I've even got my Square Cash attached, but I don't think I did anything in 2022 in Square. You can use Bitcoin. Got the Binance US, right? I've got crypto.com, but it looks like, see, crypto.com is a little different. There are no APIs. You have to export your transactions. And I don't believe that I've exported the transactions for 2022 yet, right? So just by looking at my activity on exchanges, they can download my history, right? They can calculate what was bought and sold on the exchanges, right? But notice this withdrawal. It doesn't know what to do with it, right? Because there's no corresponding wallet attached to the account, my Coin Ledger account, right? So it doesn't know where that coin went. All it knows is I withdrew it, right? So it has to count it for tax purposes as a sale. We're talking about wallets. So, and the question here, Kojo says, even MetaMask and Ledger Nano X. Yes. Any wallet that you're using needs to be taken into account if you want an accurate picture of your tax liabilities, right? Unless you are willing to just pay capital gains on all the crypto that you moved into your wallet. That might, suit you. I would rather not, but you could. But even if you did that and treated those withdrawals as sales and paid all your capital gains taxes, you'd still have capital gains on those when you sold them, because like when you move them back into the exchange, then they would be counted as purchases, right? So it would be just totally whacked out. But yes, you can attach any type of wallet. So let's try a Bitcoin wallet. Let's say we want to attach Bitcoin. It says enter your Bitcoin wallet address. They also have this import. I don't really know how that works. But let's go over to this wallet, Bitcoin main. Yeah. This is a fairly new wallet. If you look down in the transaction, I created this wallet in September of 2022. So there's not a whole lot of transaction history in this wallet. But also, I don't know that it supports XPub, because if I do a receive, I'm just going to get a singular Bitcoin address that doesn't really have any history yet. Let's see what happens when I do this. Let's see what happens there. Yeah. See, there's nothing there because I have not done anything on that particular address. So let's add another Bitcoin account and let's see if they support XPub addresses. I'm not going to mess around with the names. I think we could also do the names. The XPub address is a kind of an overarching address for your Bitcoin wallet that includes all of the sub receiving addresses. I know it's supported on other crypto exchanges, but let's see. See, here it is. If I go into the settings and then go to advanced, there's that XPub address. That's kind of hard to see there. I'll copy that. I don't want the quotes, right? I just want the address part. Let's see if they recognize that. All right, so I think it ended properly. Let's make sure there's no quote at the beginning. Okay, XPub. Now it might just tell me, hey, this is an invalid address. Let's see what happens. All right, so this should be able to get the entire history of the wallet, regardless of the individual receiving addresses. If you're unaware, when you use a Bitcoin wallet, when you do a receive, it's going to give you a new address every time, because that will separate each address as on a new chain, right? So if this is a privacy feature, right? So if I want you to send me Bitcoin and I send you my address, I want you to kind of see a blank transaction history. I don't want you to see all my previous transactions. So the Bitcoin wallet, and not just Ledger, but any Bitcoin wallet that's worth its salt, will generate a fresh address each time. Unfortunately, Ethereum doesn't do this, but most proof of work coins do. Right? So note the difference, right? When we imported the single receiving address, it was just a 0. Oh, let's do one from before, right? Let's go back and let's see. Let's try this one because we know we got some Bitcoin in this one. This is the 2 address. Let's copy that. Let's go over here. Let's add another Bitcoin account. Let's paste in that receiving address and see what we get. We should just get maybe like 2 transactions or maybe 1, right? Just a deposit. Let's see what happens. It's not happening fast enough for me. Maybe it's because it happened a few weeks ago, right? Although it imported all of the transactions on the pub address rather quickly. Okay, it's taking a few minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at that XPub, right? So we got transactions leading back to, even further. That's interesting. Wow. I thought maybe Ledger doesn't show us everything, right? Because as far as I knew, it says see more. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, so the wallet does go back a lot further, right? So when I used that XPub address when I imported, I got the whole history of the wallet. So much more information. There, that other one. Right. There was that one receiving address, right? So when we import wallets into a tax service, we need to use the XPub address because it gives the entire history of that wallet rather than just the short history of one receiving address, right? We need to do that. Okay, so let's see. Even your MetaMask and Ledger Nano X, right? So that's Ledger Nano X, right? That's a Bitcoin wallet in my Ledger Nano X. Let's do an Ethereum wallet, right? So the Ethereum wallet is pretty much slam dunk, right? Because all we need is the public address, right? So let's do that. See what we get. This time I want to do an other account. And I had kind of trouble getting it to do. Where is it? Yeah, this one. Nope. Somehow I got it to spit out a bunch of wallet stuff. No. Having some issues here. Nope. We're not going to invite our tax professional. I played around with this and poked around and finally got it to spit out a bunch of crypto. But I'm having trouble making it happen now. I don't want to add a transaction. No, I don't want to add a single transaction. Need help? No. Doggone it. How did I make this happen before? See, I got it. There it went. Okay, there was a button down there. So I clicked that, and then I got this. And it opened up a different... it's the same window in the browser. Anyway. Jesus. Let's go back. I don't know. How did I do that? Okay, there was a button down here. So there's like... This command gives you like this, which you don't want. But the button seems to... Get rid of these. Let's get rid of these too. All right. Okay. All right. So let's do the add account button, right? And that gives, I can add exchanges or cryptos here. So we're dealing with an Ethereum wallet. So we'll just paste in the address of that Ethereum wallet that I just grabbed. We'll hit connect. And this should have a boatload of transactions, which might take a while because there are quite a few. But the question was, what about MetaMask? Well, yeah, if you're using MetaMask and you're putting crypto in and out of MetaMask, you need to account for it, right? This service needs all the information that you have about your cryptos, right? Because as I mentioned, Transfers are non-taxable, but they have to know their transfers by seeing where it's going, right? It has to be, you have to put in your wallet stuff and your exchange stuff. And a lot of people get, oh, I don't want to share that information. Okay, well, then what are you going to do? Then you'll have to do it manually because you're going to have to share it with the IRS, right? The IRS needs to know. So you choose, right? You want to share your information with a third party or share your information with the IRS, or both, actually. I don't know that there's any way to do it. I guess you could. I mean, if you have a really simple transaction history in your wallet, right? You could just log each transfer in and out, every trade manually, put it in an Excel spreadsheet, figure it out, figure out the date and the time that you sold the crypto, what the price was then, what the profit was then for every transaction that you did in tax year 2022, and then submit that to the government, but you would still have to say, well, I bought Bitcoin. I sold it. Over the course of 2022, I sold Bitcoin and reaped in various different ways and reaped a profit of. And I believe you really, even if you do it manually, I think you probably have to put on your form every time you bought and sold Bitcoin and add it all up at the end, right? I don't think you can just say, okay, I traded Bitcoin and made $500 over the course of 2022. I don't know, right? But using a third party, greatly simplifies that. All right, so there we've got our Ethereum wallet imported from Ledger Nano X. Right now, a MetaMask wallet is very similar, right? If we go over to Ethereum and we switch over to one of these standalone accounts, let's grab this address, right? There's the address. It's the same process that I did with my Ledger Ethereum wallet, right? I'll just add another Ethereum wallet and I'll paste in the address of my MetaMask wallet. And there we go. Easy peasy. It's going to take it a bit. Okay, there it goes. Found 33 transactions in and out, mostly Ethereum. Over here, it tells you what token you were trading in and out, right? So, yeah, you can import your MetaMask transactions. Now, let's try MetaMask on an alternate chain. Let's try MetaMask on Binance Smart Chain. See what happens there. We'll do the Binance Smart Chain wallet, and we'll do this wallet. It should have a bunch of stuff in there. Actually, I don't know if I want to do that. That's too much stuff in that wallet. Let me try a different one. Let's try this one. Yeah, there's some Binance Smart Chain tokens in there, right? So we'll go back over here, and I'm not sure how this is going to work, but we'll give it a whirl. Okay, there's Binance Smart Chain. Now, I'm assuming that it's going to want the address of my Binance Smart Chain wallet, right? So let's make sure we got the right address, right? We'll grab it up here. We'll click on it to copy it into our clipboard. Let's go back up here, and we'll paste it in and let it do its thing. Tell me it's going to be a few minutes. So, and yeah, we have to go through this one by one, get all of our wallets that we're aware of, and import all those transactions. And so what's going to happen is it's going to match up when you made a purchase on the exchange and withdrew it to your own wallet. It should match up. Now, I also use some of these wallets on DEXs. So how well these tax services can handle the trades I made on DEXs, I don't know how well they would handle those. I guess I could poke around a little more on their website. And mind you, this is not the only tax service out there. While there's Coinly, right? Coinly is very similar, right? You sign in, you connect your exchanges, and you connect your wallets. Now, I skipped over the connecting the exchanges. That's a little complicated because you generally have to use APIs to do that. So a little bit of technical abilities that you have to, they have good instructions on how you do it. Import trades. Let's see if I can. Let's do KuCoin. Right. So they give you very detailed instructions on how you set up an API on your KuCoin account and link it to your Coinly account. Right. So you have to link you have to go onto your exchanges and create APIs that will give Coinly access to your transaction history, right? Not the ability to make trades or withdrawals, but only the ability to read your transaction history. And then that history can be imported into the service. You'll notice there over in, what is this, Coin Ledger, I have already set up my API for KuCoin, and all of my transactions are coming in. Even one that I did yesterday or the day before on the 26th, right? And we also have Cointracker.io, which is another top cryptocurrency service that will connect your exchanges and your wallets, and it can download your transactions, calculate your capital gains or losses on every single trade that you make, right? It goes through those histories. It does all the dirty work, right? It looks at the time of the trade, what the price of the crypto was on that particular date and time. That kind of stuff is very tedious for the average person like me. And I'm constantly buying and selling crypto and moving it back and forth to my wallets. It would take me years to meticulously, manually do all these. I just don't have the patience for that. I know I'm getting old, but so is your phone. Why can't I open Cointracker app on my iPhone 7 since updating the app is my phone too old? iPhone 7? Let's see. Whoops. iPhone 7 announced on 2016. Okay. 2016 probably came out 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's only like a 5-year-old phone. Shouldn't be impossible. Hex is a scam. Please don't ask me about Hex. I don't want to talk about Hex. So I wouldn't recommend trying to do this on your phone. I guess you could if you don't have a computer, but it would really be difficult on a phone. The screen is so tiny. You'd be cutting and pasting back and forth between your phone exchanges. Yeah, I don't know. And setting up an API on your Coinbase, if you're just, I'm under the impression that you just want to use your phone to try and calculate your crypto taxes. Sounds difficult, but if you're a phone-centric person, I guess it's not impossible. But I don't know that Cointracker has an app, right? I believe it's just a web-based. Oh, well, maybe they do. I'm going to check here real quick on my phone, see if they have an app. Let's check. Let's see here. Where am I? Oh, okay. Cointracker. Okay. CoinMarketCap, Cointracker, crypto portfolio. Oh, this is Cointracker. Huh. Yeah, I don't believe their app does. Huh. Is this the same? Well, they seem to have the same logo. Oh, it says tax. Okay. So maybe you could use it to do your taxes. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you could do it on your phone, but I would probably use, if you're going to do it on your phone, it would probably be better to use their app rather than try to open their website on your phone. Maybe the website isn't like designed to be used on a phone, right? So sometimes back in the day, trying to open up a website on your phone was next to impossible because most websites were formatted for, a desktop screen. But now, web technology has moved to the point where if you go to a web page, it will detect what kind of device you were using and serve up the correct format for your device. But maybe the Cointracker isn't going to work properly. Their website may not work properly on your phone. You probably want to use their app. So that's kind of the crypto tax thing in a nutshell. We've got several different services that we could use. I was doing some stuff in CoinLedger. There's also Coinly, which I've done a video on using Coinly, and Cointracker, which I've done videos on. So if you're interested in using any of these, let's see. Let's go here. Let's try that. Yeah, Coinly. My Coinly video wasn't that long ago, right? So it's pretty up to date. So, okay. Well, there's the affiliate link too. I'll just copy that into the live stream if you're interested, right? So, but I did do a video on how to set up Coinly. So if you're interested in that, I haven't done one for CoinLedger yet. And then I also did one on, I've done several on Cointracker. Back in 2021, mostly. Yeah, I think this was a pretty good video here. And I'll put the link there. Yeah, so link Coinbase, link Pro, link Binance, Binance US, Kraken, Poloniex. This is mostly on getting exchanges connected and doing the APIs. But it's a decent video. Yeah, so put all those in there. So yeah, if you're interested in trying out any of these services to do your crypto taxes, just remember, you're going to have to give them your information. You're going to have to give them your wallet addresses, and you're going to have to install APIs in your cryptocurrency exchanges. But keep in mind that this does not give them access to the crypto. There is no risk of them hacking your crypto wallets by you giving them your public addresses. That's how public-private key cryptography works, right? Giving out the public address does not endanger the private keys of your wallet, right? It does, compromise your privacy, right? You are trusting them with your personal information, right? but the blockchain is public. So if you have a cryptocurrency wallet, it's public information, right? It may not be tied directly to your identity, but some, the government, can, if they have a mind to, would be able to tie you to your Bitcoin wallets. So I don't know about private companies, but there's probably a bunch of private companies that could also tie you to your Bitcoin or Ethereum address as well. So there's not much privacy. I know that's not a very good argument for privacy to say that, well, we don't have much privacy anyway. So what's the use of trying to protect your privacy? I know that's not a good argument, and some people have called me out on that. But that's kind of my attitude, right? There's no point in trying to maintain your privacy. And, these companies also have privacy policies, right? They're not just going to release your data or turn around and sell your data, right? It's in their terms of service, right? So they wouldn't be in business very long if their business model was getting people's information and then turning around and selling it to third parties, right? That's not how they make their money. They make money by having people trust them to do their crypto taxes accurately, right? So there's always going to be a certain level of trust that you're going to have to, give to, just like I trust Amazon not to use my credit card to go out and, make purchases that I didn't authorize, right? There's always that level of trust when dealing with legacy finance, right? Oh, looks like KuCoin, or which one was this? This was the Binance Smart Chain. Let's take a look at that Binance Smart Chain and see. Yeah, it looks like when it says unmapped, I don't know what that means, unmapped. Because I'm thinking some of these were, they've got a trade there on a PancakeSwap that they have handled, right? So even when I trade within my dexes, they, right here. Now, some of these, I don't know about this. This is back from 2021. These are old. Oh, these are fairly new. Oh, this is kind of an obscure wallet that I haven't used in a long time. So, but yeah, it looks like some of the swaps that I made, it recognized as trades to a certain extent. Interesting, right? So we could do the same thing with, say, Avalanche, right? We could switch over to the Avalanche network. And I don't know that I did much trading in this particular wallet, but we could do the same thing and add an Avalanche, right? So you can do the different chains, right? You just have to make sure that you add the correct chain, right? So so there's Avalanche C chain, right? I'll put in the address of my Avalanche wallet and import it, right? So there's nothing there, all right? So any wallet that you're using in MetaMask, just get the right chain and the right token for that chain and import the wallet address into your tax software, and you're good to go. No up-to-date forms at the local IRS office. I'm shocked. Old Bitcoin, BT's the original Bitcoin now on the ERC network. We bring Bitcoin with 21 million circulating supply. Nice to see you again, CryptoDad. Thank you for your Ledgers of Ice, Ledger Crypto. Okay, interesting. Old Bitcoin. Let's see. What was some other stuff we wanted to do tonight? If I can figure out, we can jump back in. Accessing hidden wallets on Trezor. So we've talked. Oh, I did want to do this Ballet while I'm here. So the good people at Ballet Wallets were very kind, and they sent me this cool Bitcoin cold wallet, right? And I wanted to just demonstrate how we would add this wallet to our existing setup. So first of all, let me see if I can give you a close-up. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, so you can see it here. And then on the back, they did this really cool engraving. To CryptoDad, thank you for promoting self-custody. You're amazing, from Ballet. I was very touched and impressed that I didn't ask them. They just sent this to me, I guess, for the holiday. So it's pretty cool. Let's go back here. So what I'd like to do is just import this little guy. So what in order to do it, we'll go into the Ballet app on my phone. And I hope this works. I was having some issues with it earlier. I've got their app. I installed their app. As you can see, I'm managing a couple of different cards in here. I'm going to hit this plus, and then I'm going to hit the scan. And then I'm going to scan this little guy in here. There it goes. So now I have a representation of this cold wallet in the app, right? So now I have like public access to the Bitcoin address. And we could drop some Bitcoin in here. I'm going to have to copy it like that from my phone, and then go over to... that's a good question. How are we going to do this? Someone's texting me. It was the camera. Echo was really bad. That fixed it. It was the camera. Yeah, that echo is killing me. I'm glad we got that straightened out. Got it. And hopefully, what if I had been talking for like 20 minutes with that echo? It would have been crazy. Okay, that was Dan. Let's see, where were we? Oh, yeah, we've got the Bitcoin address in the clipboard of our phone. So how am I going to do this? I think I'll do it on the desktop so you can sort of see it. Because Ledger Live is kind of... Well, let's try the Ledger Live app. Just for giggles. The Ledger Live app is kind of whacked out because it's seeing some Bitcoin in one of my wallets that's not really there, which is weird. And it doesn't have Bitcoin main on here. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay, so it sees this one, which is okay. That's the wallet that I would like to transfer the Bitcoin from. So I'm going to tap send. I'm going to paste in the address of my Ballet wallet. There it is. I'll continue. I'm going to use it all, right? This is that Bitcoin from this account. You notice it's the same balance, right? All right, same balance. I'm going to send it to my Ballet wallet. So I'll hit continue. I'll do medium. We'll hit continue again. It wants me to pair up with Bluetooth. I got more hands, 2 more hands here. Okay. It wants me to open the Bitcoin app. Notice the cable is connected, but I can still use the Bluetooth. It doesn't interfere. Yeah, this may or may not work. Oh, it says Bitcoin's ready. Okay. Let's see if the app recognizes what's happening. Let me turn this off for a second. Let's try again. Let's pair with Bluetooth. Oh, okay, there. Let's tap that. Okay. I thought this was already paired, but I guess not. All right, there's the pairing code. I need to pair on the phone, and I need to confirm on the device by clicking both buttons. And hopefully, let's try again. Always when I'm showing company. No, it's not going to cooperate with me. Yeah, it's already paired. So actually, let's see if it will. No. Yeah, it keeps telling me to pair, but the device is already paired. And so now it's like not going to cooperate with me. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to run around in circles doing this. I'm not a big fan of using the phone app, to tell you the truth, guys. Yeah, I don't know why it won't pair. Nope. Device not on dashboard. Okay. All right. You're not going to cooperate with me. Okay, fine. Let's compose. Let's send it to me. We'll just use that. All right. There's the Bitcoin address. Okay, we're just going to send it to ourselves. Okay. Now I have access to it over here. I have to check my email. All right, there it is. Whoops. Okay. Are you kidding me? What happened? What a drag, man. Why didn't it give me the whole address? Why did it give me that, like, half? Okay, whatever. Yeah, there's no dashes in a Bitcoin address. So that's weird. Let me go back to the Ballet. Yeah, it ends in J. I don't know why those two dashes got put on the end of it. All right, so now we'll do it from our computer because the phone is not cooperating with me, the Bluetooth. And it's not because of the cable. I've done it many times with the cable. I don't know why. It's not pairing. I could go round and round with it and maybe get it to pair up by like disconnecting the Bluetooth from my phone and reconnecting and going through all kinds of acrobatics. But we're almost done, so I don't want to spend time doing that. Let's hit continue. All right, it's looking for my device. All right, that wants me to review the outgoing transaction. Click approve, confirm the fees, and there we go. And there we go. Out it goes. Whoops. L gave me $3. Nice of you. Union Crypto. Good night, everyone. Oh, we're getting close to 8, but that's okay. We got time. So I would like to just briefly touch on the Ballet Cold Wallet. What's nice about this wallet is the private key is under glass, right? You have to peel that sticker off to get to the private key. So the advantages of this are it's impossible for me, and there's no backup phrase, right? This is the backup. Having it in your possession is the backup, right? It's a cold wallet with the private key hidden. So my possession of it is the backup, right? Don't lose this, right? The Bitcoin is here. So that's good. So I'm not going to accidentally give out my backup phrase over the internet to some scammer because I don't know it. There is no backup phrase. There is the private key on this device, and it's like a bearer bond, right? Physical possession proves ownership, right? Now, if someone were to steal this, then they would get the Bitcoin, right? So it's just like anything of value that you would have at your house, like a gold coin or a fine painting or anything else. Somebody steals it, it's gone. You lose it, right? So it is also Bitcoin. It also represents Bitcoin stored on the blockchain, which you can have access to, right? But stored in a cold wallet format. So, but some people bag on this wallet because of the way the private key is created, right? The way the private key is created is that it's done at the factory. And a part of it is done in their, I think it's in Shanghai or Singapore. I'm not sure. I think maybe Shanghai. They have a factory in Shanghai that creates a piece of the private key. And then they have another plant in Las Vegas, I believe, that does the other half. And by separating the private key between these two facilities, it's a security measure, right? So that they don't have private keys laying around at any one factory where someone could run across it. Now, if there was some kind of employee collusion, that it's possible that an employee might be able to gain access to a private key and then drain a customer's wallet. But it's very unlikely. If it were to happen, the customer would notify them and the culprits would be apprehended very quickly because there's only a few people that work at the company that have that kind of access, right? But basically it boils down to you have to trust the company not to use your private key or steal your Bitcoin. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people are like, those people have access to the private key. I don't trust them. I'm not going to use their wallet. But there, and I spoke with Eric that works at Ballet, and he says there's that level of trust that you have to give for just about anything, be it Amazon, be it a stockbroker, be it your banker, even Ledger. To a certain degree, we have to trust that Ledger is going to generate random private keys when we use our device. Now, this can be proven because the device is tested by third parties and independent compliance agencies, right? Does this device generate random private keys? Well, you could test it for years and never be 100% certain that these are random private keys, right? So at some point there is a level of trust, although with Ledger it's very, very, very slim. But we have to, the only way, but it's a black box. The only way we can trust them is that it gets tested by third parties. Well, the Ballet wallets get tested by third parties and customers. They've been in business since 2017, and no one has reported their Bitcoin mysteriously disappearing yet. So that is a testament to the reliability of these wallets. I think they're pretty cool. Yeah, most people would prefer to have their own backup phrase. But I also have the backup phrase. It's on here. Well, the private key is on here. So, but yeah, obviously I would trust a Ledger to hold large amounts of Bitcoin more than a Ballet wallet. But I think the wallet is pretty cool in that it's a self-custody cold wallet. And it's not vulnerable to online hacks, and it's not vulnerable to scammers, because I don't know a backup phrase. Like, people get scammed all the time into revealing their backup phrases to online scammers because they don't know any better, right? So the Ledger device is not vulnerable to hackers, but the owners of Ledger devices are vulnerable to hackers because they don't know any better, and they give up their backup phrase because they get a phishing email and they think they're dealing with Ledger tech support and it's a scammer, and they give up their backup phrase, right? So the Ballet wallet does not suffer from that vulnerability, right? Anyway, thought it would be kind of cool. I thought it was really nice of them to send me that. I've done some videos on setting up the Ballet wallet. Let's do this one here. I think it's a really cool wallet. If anyone's interested. Great gift. And it's a no-brainer, right? You don't have to know that much about crypto wallets to use them. If you didn't have a chance to get Bitcoin under $1, will this new hottest coin? Oh, will you stop pumping this coin, buddy? We don't need to hear about it. Anyway, we're coming up on the 8 o'clock hour. Thank you so much, Dan, for being here tonight. I'm gonna send a email to JDO. Hope he's doing well. He's not required to be here, but it's nice to have him. And he's a great guy. And so hopefully he'll be back next week. Probably, unavoidably attained. I don't know him as well as I know Dan, but we all have lives, right? Yeah, I prefer the Ledger device myself for, as you can see, that's my go-to crypto wallet, right? But there's lots of use cases for different types of wallets. Some people are more comfortable with a phone-based wallet. Some people are more comfortable with paper wallets. Some people like desktop wallets. A lot of people like to use MetaMask, Ballet. So there's all kinds of wallets for all kinds of people. So I like to, I'm open to explaining how to use any type of wallet. Anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks, Amsterdam Holland, for being here. Swap some ADA and Meld on with Miniswap. Must be a DEX. Dan, I have no life. All right, guys, thanks for being here tonight. I hope I didn't bore you too much with the tax stuff, but it is tax season. If you haven't, if you've sold some crypto, it's in your best interest to, put that in along with your taxes, right? If you've made money on crypto, and if you've lost money on crypto in 2022, which many of us did, sold at a loss, then it's in your best interest to take those tax advantages and apply them to your tax form. So it's crypto tax season. So good luck, everybody out there. Thanks for being here tonight. Oh, Miniswap is the most popular DEX on Cardano. I'll have to check it out. Let's just Cardano. Hope it's better than Soda Swap, or what was that other one? The Sunday Swap, right? Yeah, I'll check this out. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Right? Thanks for everything. Yeah, we've got some snow. I've been watching it snow all day, and it's probably still snowing now. So Dan and I are getting some heavy snow here in Michigan. So best to everyone out there that's dealing with weather and crypto and taxes. I'll be here next week. Don't forget, I do this every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon.